facts to follow, all of you
Oh,
guys.
yeah, that's true.
and for you, Boris, I know you were saying that you're working with some youngsters as well.
Yeah, I'm also trying to give back a little bit to the German Tennis Federation. But again, as the problem in Sweden, we have the same problem. We don't have many great youngsters coming up, and if they do, they're...
Hold on, you're talking to us here. We know.
Somehow they're good at 17 and 18, and all of a sudden they disappear into other sports, or they don't even, think about tennis anymore. But I'm very busy with the television, and I'm working in Wimbledon for you guys and for German television. And I'm running the Super 9 event in Hamburg.
Yes.
So that's
You're on the other side of the fence.
I'm on the other side of the fence, and that's interesting to see and learn from this perspective.
Yeah. Would either of you, being family members, would you want your children to play tennis? Would you encourage it, Stefan?
I always said if they can play to club level, that's my goal. They can go out and they know what a forehand and backhand is, and they can hit it well. That's my goal. I think it's always hard to follow a mum or dad that's been successful. Creates a lot of unnecessary pressure. But I want them to be involved in sports. That's the main thing for me.
You'd be a nervous dad sitting at the side.
I probably would be nervous. I'm not that nervous sitting around now, but if they were playing, I would be definitely.
What about you? Because I sort of know how to racket out.
No, he likes to play tennis, and I would love him to be involved in sports. Whether it doesn't have to be tennis, but I want him to be involved in sport because it was a great life lesson to me. Now, I would agree, if you decide to want to be a tennis player, then obviously there's always my shadow running around, and that wouldn't be fair to him. So, by the end of the day, when he's 16, 17, he's going to decide what he wants to do.
Okay.
Hopefully still stay in school by then.
I know when you lived over here in London and you have read the papers and you know what happens with Tim, it's a tough few weeks for him, isn't it?
It's a tough few weeks. I agree with you. The media is all around him, and he is in focus. But I think he's done very well under the circumstances. Actually, been to the semi-finals. Was it 3 years now or 4 years?
4 now, yeah.
Which is a really good record. He's just a little bit missing there. And but
what do you think is missing?
I don't know. It's hard to tell. But he's had to play Pete Sampras a few times.
Yeah.
And
Ivanisevic, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. That was a good chance for him. So it's been a little bit unlucky playing Pete because he's been an outstanding player at Wimbledon for the past 7-8 years. But with his experience, he should do well at Wimbledon with a home crowd, with a support, and he's got the game to do well. He can go all the way. I don't know if it's this year or next year, but he's still got a few more chances.
Yeah, because there isn't that many that look at home on grass, is there?
Well, then I feel like that's a chance this year because I don't see clear-cut favorites. In the previous years, as Stefan said, it was Sampras and there was a long pause because he was winning 7 times. But I don't see anybody right now dominating on grass. Even a Leighton Hewitt, the Wimbledon champion the last year, the Queen's Club champion of last year, he dropped a little bit in his top form, and I see there's a lot of other guys, and Tim is one of them, who on their good day can have an incredible run and win the whole tournament. So let's see what happens.
What about, Andy Roddick yesterday against Andre Agassi was just awesome, wasn't he? That serve.
Well, Andy Roddick for the last year and a half was a steady top 10 player, but he hasn't really reached the next level. Now, if he plays Agassi in Wimbledon and beats him, that would put him in that extra class. But he has certainly the weapons and he has the potential to do so. So let's see what's going to do next week.
Yeah, because you guys both know, having a big serve is such an advantage on this stuff.
Oh, definitely, and Roddick has got a big weapon. He's got a big forehand too, and he definitely has the weapons to win at Wimbledon. And if he can beat Andre here, it's probably good for him. He believes he can beat the top guys.
So the 2 players there. How difficult is it going to be for Grosjean? You guys probably aren't the best to ask because you had the big serve, but how can he combat that huge serve?
Well, obviously, him winning a few years ago, as he said, the Glasgow tournament here, gives him the confidence and the belief that he can win a Glasgow tournament. Now, for him reaching the final is a bit of a surprise for me because he's not the big server, he's not the big volley, but obviously with the slower conditions.
But this guy is dynamic, isn't he? This Andy Roddick. He's got such power from the back of the court and from the serve.
That's right, but on the other hand, you have Grosjean, who's a smaller guy, but with a lot of power as well. I mean, he has got great footwork, he gets to most of the ball, he gets most of the turn space. So the pressure, in a way, is on Roddick, because everybody, after yesterday's victory, expects him to win today, and so Grosjean can play easy.
How difficult is that? Because he is only 20 years of age. To beat his idol, Andre Agassi, and then come out here in the final where now suddenly he's the favourite and the pressure's on.
It's a big test for him today, and he probably knows about it too. And it's probably even more difficult to win today, in a way. But he should feel comfortable if he can beat Agassi on this court. There's no reason why he can't beat Grosjean. But he's going to make a lot. He's going to have to make a lot of first serves because Grosjean is going to get hold of his second serve, and that's Grosjean's chance to get hold of that second serve. And but we'll see. It'll be very interesting to watch.
We heard earlier from Tim talking about the ice packs in the locker room, and I know you're going to both say you're injured going into today's match. So we weren't going to, but you've been practicing out there. We've talked about it. How heavy these balls are today. For Roddick to be serving 149 miles an hour, how bad must his shoulder be?
I can't even imagine how bad it will be, but he's really crunching it, and I'm struggling to get above 170.
We have to shut off the radar gun here.
No. Oh no, that's going to be
so bad, right?
That's true.
But have you found that the ball's really heavy?
Yeah,
and
they are.
difficult?
I mean, I haven't been playing on grass for years here, but coming here, hitting with a ball after a while, they get really heavy. They do, and they get quite big. So it's quite a challenge volleying the ball, especially if it's below the net. So it's quite tricky.
It won't be tricky, you'll be fine, and we're looking forward to it. Just before you guys go, I know you've talked about Wimbledon, and that was the goal and the greatest sort of moment and everything, but what was your greatest match? What do you remember as being your greatest match?
My greatest match in my memory was the Davis Cup relegation match against America, where Germany played America, and I played McEnroe on the first day, and it happened to be the longest match in pro history. We played 6 hours and 42 minutes. I ended up winning it in 5 sets, and those times we didn't have a tiebreaker. So one set went 15-13, the other set was 14-12, plus 3 others. So that was a match I remember.
And for you, Stefan?
It probably has to be the US Open final that I played against Jim Courier in '91, where I played pretty flawless tennis all the way through, and to beat Courier in the final at the time with big scores, it was quite an accomplishment at the time.
Yeah, well, I've got so many to choose from, you two. But of course, we're looking ahead to the final. It is a big match for both players, because obviously important to go through to Wimbledon. And you've talked quite a bit about the talent of Sébastien Grosjean, because as you can see, they're not a tall man, but moves so well.
Moves so well and has a good technique on all of his strokes, and that's always a trademark about the French tennis system. They always come up with great young talented players, and Grosjean is one of them. But there are so many out there that they have always a good technique and good leg speed, and that's something you underestimate on the grass is your footwork. You think you need a big serve, yes, you need a big serve, but you need to move around as much. And Grosjean has one of the best legs in the game right now.
Okay, well here he is with the hat on back to front once again, in the red shirt, making his way out onto court against Andy Roddick, 20 years of age. Many people think he'll be a future world #1. Do you guys agree?
Well, he has the potential. He's a young guy, has the power. He's got the charisma as well. His body is a little shaky sometimes, and he gets injured quite frequently, especially on his ankles. But if he stays healthy for one season, he has a shot.
And Brad Gilbert also in his corner. He'll have a lot to say to him. He's always got a lot to say, Brad.
Oh, yeah, he does, yeah. But he did a great job with Agassi, and I'm sure he'll do a great job with Roddick as well. So he'll have a benefit of having Brad Gilbert around him.
And of course, Brad would have known exactly what to say to Andy Roddick yesterday against Andre Agassi, who he coached for so long. Well, Andy Roddick is there. Let's hear what the umpire's got to say.